when it shows recording. Here it
Feel
goes.
like we got another battle
All right.
here,
Yeah.
Nick.
Okay. Got it. All right. And welcome back to another episode of
Oh.
the movie Shoehorn. My name is Ben. I'm here with the other horn dogs. This week, we're taking a look at the special Inside by Bo Burnham. I am returning from a 1 week absence. Last week, I spent my week getting tortured by 7 other adults and 3 children. And now I'm back to torture myself with these idiots.
How
All
many?
right. So, Wyatt, this was your choice. Why don't you get us started?
Well, I mean,
Thanks, Ben.
that's a really. I appreciate that, Ben. Thank you for handing it off to me. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the baton. I've seen this several times now. I saw it when it was actually kind of, I think, brand new, and in my opinion, I think watching it then would have given it way more purpose, and it would have meant more because it truly was kind of. It was like a time capsule of what people were going through. You might not be able to relate to it because other people were locked down more than others. You know what I mean? Like there were people who weren't able to literally leave their fucking house in cities or apartments or. So to
Dude,
me,
he looked fucking locked down in that.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I knew of Bo Burnham, but I never really sought out his material. This was just like on a whim. I don't really remember how. Probably maybe just because I heard it was well received, or I don't know. Maybe it was just on Netflix, and I watched it, and I was floored. I'm not gonna give you my entire opinion right now, but this to me was so unique, and obviously so different from anything. I don't think anyone's picked a comedy yet. Not that this was a full out comedy. It was a bit more than that, but
it's very dark.
For me, this was. I don't know what to tell you, man. This is what creation is about. All this other shit is a waste of time. Like, if you can't understand what this was, an intimate view of an actual artist, if this guy was a painter in whatever fucking era, you would give a fuck. But because he's some weird, gay-sounding, blonde weirdo, I don't think he'll ever really even get even though this is a masterpiece, he will never get the respect he deserves because of when this was created, because of the content possibly could push people the wrong way. You know, like it's
awards for this.
Yeah, but I can see why people don't like it because of agendas, because of dumb political bullshit, because it skews a little. I think he tries not to, but it does. And I think he hates both sides. Like, this guy is me. I hate everything about our existence. It's all a joke. It's a travesty. So I love it. I identify with this guy so much.
Those were the best parts for me when he really got. He seems like a genius. I mean, some of that social commentary that he's able to wrap into like a funny thing is fucking brilliant.
Dude. Dude, it was
so timely. I was so shocked that you recommended this because during the entirety of June with Pride Month, with everybody everybody converts their apps to the rainbow flag and and then they got the Juneteenth, and all of the companies are trying to figure out a way of how do we harness this to make more money. I've been using that, passing it back and forth with all these different people. The thing where he's the brand ambassador.
That's the best fucking part.
When he's like, "Who are you, Bagel Bites?" That shit is the most genius shit in the world. How he puts it, and he says it so succinctly. It's like perfectly done. To your point, Wyatt, and Ben mentioned how he got a ton of awards at the Emmys or whatever it was, and I think it's a shame that because you have to be in theaters for X amount of time to be considered for Academy Awards, I straight up thought this year, I forget what else was out, but I thought that was the best thing I'd seen that year.
Yeah.
And I also want to caveat and then saying, I think the emotional toll of COVID, of like lockdown, was the time to see it, because I remember, I watched it twice. I remember laughing hysterically. I remember crying during both viewings. It was a serious, like, emotional thing. And I think it's immense. I think it's an immense thing. That's all. That's all I have to say about
honest,
probably for the
man.
entire podcast.
So honest. He's in his fucking tighty whities half the time. It's amazing.
I kind of wish that I could have seen this closer to, actual like heavy pandemic lockdown time, because I think it would have been a little heavier. I mean, it was certainly heavy in its own right. Seeing it now, just because it's obvious he's struggling with some mental problems during it.
Took a 5-year break from stand-up.
Well, yeah, he explains in it that he was thinking he was just about to try and start doing it again, and then the pandemic happened. And so the one thing that Wyatt said that I wanted to kind of piggyback off of was the whole creation aspect. Like, that was one thing that I thought watching this was like, this is inspiring just to see like what he can do as one person, what he's able to create. I mean, I don't think I could do what Bo Burnham does, but it made me think like, oh man, like this is something someone could actually do if they had, the creativity and the ability to create their own material. Like it's very well put together as well, like the editing and everything like that. I mean, Eric, did you appreciate that the way he was able to edit and cut everything? And
for sure,
I thought that was pretty well done, like amazingly well done. And I think I saw that the lighting. He directs for other comedians. He directs their specials, so he's definitely a very
a beast,
very gifted media maker.
So I would recommend, if you guys have not watched his stand-up specials, to watch them, because they are completely different than this.
I don't like it. I looked it up, and
I don't know if I
this
want
is my
that.
first introduction to him, and having that as the comparison point, I didn't like the stand-up stuff as much.
Yeah, see, I had seen his stand-up stuff first, and some of the songs he has are just phenomenal.
He's good. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
They're just hilarious.
Stop really quick. Did he get famous like doing YouTube videos, kind of like he was doing in this movie first, and then do some stand-up? Like
I think that's right.
Yeah, he was a stand-up comedian, is what you'd say, basically.
Didn't he become famous from YouTube stuff?
Like,
it was YouTube first, and then he got popular and started doing stage stuff. Like,
I'm assuming he didn't do like actual open mic, like he did kind of musical stand-up stuff.
Get on out of your seat.
But this was
some of those tunes were catchy.
Dude.
And it was way darker. And I agree with what you guys said earlier. I feel like if I had watched this during lockdown, I feel like it would have resonated a whole lot more.
It leapt out of the TV at you.
I feel like he just embodied what everybody was going through during lockdown. It was cool how open he was about the stuff he was going through. I didn't know that he took a 5-year break from doing stand-up comedy, because he was having panic attacks.
Yeah, no.
I've had panic attacks. They're awful. They're fucking miserable.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine being on stage, like performing in front of people and potentially having a panic attack. That'd be terrifying.
How do you get through that? Like, he didn't say whether or not he like stopped performing.
I don't
like after that, but it's like he almost made it sound like he kept going through it, but like that would be crippling. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I think he was still working like as a producer and director, stuff like that, but he was not performing when he was having.
He said, I heard him in an interview because I got intrigued and started looking him up. He was on some podcast talking about how he was on stage and he was having this kind of like out of body thing where muscle memory kicked in. He was just performing, but inside of himself, he was like having a heart attack. And he said it was the most surreal experience he's ever had, where he was like detaching his performance from who he was as a person in real time. Like some really fucked up mental shit going on, which is just crazy. I don't know how you function.
But there was one performance. It was a comedian. I forget the name of the event, but it was all of the comedians that were there. Like you had Jon Stewart, you had like Ray Romano, you had a bunch of really prominent stand-up guys, and he sings a song at it called Art is Dead. And it's just a satirical song about being an artist and what a piece of shit you are in Hollywood in front of all of these famous comedians, and it's so fucking good.
They love him. Like I saw an interview with Bill Burr, and he was like, he literally said like Bo Burnham is like everyone respects him, and he's younger than. I mean, he's young, correct? He's in like his what is he?
He's 30.
He turned 30 in the thing.
Yeah,
I'm turning. All right, but the real
32.
question is will you stand with Wheat Thins in their fight against Lions? That to me was the best fucking line of the whole thing.
I mean, oh my god, dude. Like what I thought was, even if you couldn't respect necessarily, I mean, some people don't like that the mute. I don't know. The fact that he did everything, the lighting, it looked beautiful. I mean,
he had some cool
he did
tricks
everything.
Too.
Some of those
respect that.
Some of those behind the scenes shots at
the
the end where he's showing kind of him messing around with it, how he did some of it.
The headlamp into the disco ball, that was amazing.
And he's cool. Like, do you know how hard it is to like program a fucking light like thing to go choreograph to your dude? He was doing choreograph fucking dances and shit.
He had pedals for it.
Oh yeah, dude. I was blown away.
He had remotes. He had a bunch of different.
But you have to time it perfectly, and you wonder how many times he had. They came out with an outtake. There's another section to this that you can find where it's like the deleted scenes or whatever from this.
It might be better. It might be.
You've got to imagine if all he came up with was like an hour and a half of footage, and it was a year's worth of attempts.
Yeah.
Like, right. Imagine how many times it took him, like how many days it may have taken him to get one thing just how he wanted it.
Oh yeah, he's got some bangers.
How much raw footage is just cut off and sitting on the editing floor? Like,
he's got a song called 5 Years. It's like he's like Drake. He's like making fun of Drake. Like, and it might be better. He's got
a good voice too. And
what was the best song?
The last one.
The last one is the best song. I liked "Is This Heaven or a White Woman's Instagram?"
Yeah, that was.
I like White Woman's Instagram. I was gonna say that's.
I think the song that really gets me is the acoustic guitar one, talking about like mass shootings at the mall and how they're very common. Like that kind of thing really got, like, the lyrics of that scared me how accurate it was.
He said
because
that funny
because it's very normal. All of it's very normalized, and it's all put together. The backlash to the thing that's just begun. Like it's just, we live in this frenetic world where there's no even time to let anything marinate. It's just stimulus response all day long. And I think that song's incredible too.
Yeah, that was.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
Not at all. Yeah. No, I mean.
The sock, when I first watched it, I was like, what is this? Who is this guy? And when the sock puppet, when you get some Marxism, that's when I broke into, I like this. Let's see where this goes.
Of course.
You
got intrigued by some Marxism?
That's crazy. That's unreal.
What?
All right.
I love when he says, when he's like, I'm going to put you back in your drawer. And he's like, have you not been fucking listening to me? The song, like, critiquing him back is the best part. Like, oh, man. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, I would recommend watching the outtakes if you liked it at all, because to me, it was just a continuation. He didn't even, I mean, it was only an hour and like 27 minutes, the original. So in reality, that was I gave you guys a short,
thank you,
beautiful thing. Yeah. You're welcome.
Nobody
watched. The hardest laugh I had, to answer the last thing I'll say about songs, I laughed the hardest when I first watched this at the Jeffrey Bezos reprise. The second Jeffrey, the short one.
Yeah, I think I laughed out loud at that. That was very.
It freaked me out how funny it was.
Shocking.
Dude, when I first heard that Jeffrey Bezos, I would put that on in my car. That thing was catchy. Or you like the Jeffrey Bezos.
That's the one I'm into. You did it.
You did it.
You did it. You ruined the world.
You did it. You piece of.
I would say him and Zuckerberg. They did it. They ruined the world.
I was tapping
did it.
It's like a concert, and then he's depressed, and oh god. There's nothing like this. It's not. It's one of one.
Well, nobody watched Quest. What is it called? Viking Quest or Mythic Quest? Nobody's watched Mythic Quest.
I've seen it.
Well, the first season,
amazing.
They have the sort of the finale, and then there's the 10th episode, which is a COVID episode.
Yeah. Yep.
And just sort of, piggybacking on what Ben was talking about, somebody being creative. They did a whole like Zoom episode. You know, the whole episode was like them on Zoom, and it was still fucking entertaining. Like, you don't need $1 billion to come up with an entertaining content.
So we've jerked off to it for a while now, and I want to pass it over to Eric to get his real thoughts here.
Thanks. I didn't. I'm assuming you think I hated it, but actually I didn't hate it. I'm actually not sure how I feel about it. But I will say that, kind of like Ben was saying, I think I appreciated this more than I enjoyed it, but I didn't hate it. You can appreciate, like, oh, you can tell someone, like, I couldn't draw that, or, like, I really was impressed by his musical ability. The videography was sick. The lighting was awesome. Just for that small space, too, he did a lot. Like, it was literally an apartment room, so I think that's where I was not as enthused. I was just kind of like music video after music video. I like the in-betweens because his personality could show. Like, I think my favorite part was, someone mentioned it, but like when he was counting down, when he was turning 30 and he was just staring at the 11:59, like I was like that. I don't know. It's funny. He's like, just gonna sit here and enjoy my 20s. That made me laugh out loud. But it just didn't feel like a movie to me, and that's why I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's really not.
Man, through and through.
And I didn't watch it. This was my first time watching it too, so I think maybe that's a bit of it. So it's like I'm not in that. Like if I watched it during pandemic, I probably would have got it more. I think, and I get it, but I just didn't emotionally hit me, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm almost disappointed. When I saw your text, I thought it was going to be a 1 or a 0 for
No,
him, and now I'm disappointed you weren't.
This guy's talented. Like, you know, I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that's undeniable. It seems
Did
like.
you put a number? Did you put a number on there?
It could be if he put his mind to it. I feel like.
Put a number on there.
Did you do a numbered review there, Eric? Like, did you give it a number?
No.
Did not. That was my initial take. This is like around the horn. That's my take, and now we'll get into the next topic.
Ben has forgotten because he hasn't been here in a long time. But
I'm pissed.
Numbered reviews later in the pod.
I'm pissed.
I thought I heard him give it. I didn't know if he gave it.
Oh no.
No, it really sucks because I really wish that we had done. I mean, we should have done this earlier, and I wish we had suggested this during the. Why the fuck didn't we do this during the pandemic? What the fuck were we doing?
Well, my experience of the lockdown was not at all like this. Because when I was working at NBC, like we still had to go in. Technically.
Yeah, I did too.
News station shit. So I never had it where I was like, oh, I can't leave my house. So did you guys ever have that? It's almost weird.
No.
Like now, it's been 3 years now.
Not really, and I also have a lot of people in my house, so I never really felt like that.
Yeah.
And Karen, Robbie was like 1 or whatever at the time, and Hannah was 3. So
I mean,
I never really felt like that isolation and like we can't do anything. I don't know. I never really felt that.
We locked up. We did. I remember that we would get in the car to go get groceries, but it was always like they put it in our trunk. They'd close the trunk. We'd come back to our house. We'd like maybe go for a walk in the neighborhood, but it was quite a while. It felt like a long time anyway, where it was just you don't see anybody. You just like do Zoom calls with family. You don't see anybody. You don't really.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was the monotony of work. Like you
I think
log in and just do the thing, and it felt really hollow. I hated it. I remember
I think it
hating
was also like learning about other places that were locked down, like thinking about if that was actually your reality. But yeah, it was also just the repetition of there was nothing to do other than work. I was working, but yeah, you just go home and it was kind of like you were locked down in a sense, but luckily we were able to leave. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, did he go outside? Like, what was he doing? I want to see his situation. Where the fuck did he live? Like, did he go outside?
Well, you know what? Actually, I don't think that's actually his house because I'm reading that the room used as the filming location this was filmed inside the house that was the setting for A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
Right, so it's a little studio.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. The Los Angeles house was bought by his girlfriend. So that was his house. Never mind. Okay, I didn't actually finish reading that before.
It was probably like
He lived in where they filmed Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, apparently.
He probably used that as like his studio to get his shit out during.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Back in between, because I think I heard that was a guest house, right? It's like a little casita or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. California has all those. Every house has a guest house, but he's the first person to win 3 Emmys. Just one person, not shared with anybody.
He won Emmys for that?
He won an Emmy for directing, writing, and music direction.
Silly boy.
Yeah, that was his house.
And yet, I guarantee the large majority of the world has not seen this. Because look how many people didn't see it in our group of friends, which is kind of.
I bet a lot of people have, though.
I didn't even really know who Bo Burnham was. I had just heard of his name before.
Exactly.
I've never heard of him.
I'm not like a big streaming person. I don't know.
I think I'm the only one who really has watched his stand-ups, and I genuinely enjoyed his stand-up specials.
Well, you're Mr. Netflix, so that was gonna be my point. Is like I think streaming people probably watch this.
It's funny because when he's on stage, he acts super flamboyant and gay on purpose.
Sounds very metrosexual.
And he has bits on it, how his family thinks he's gay.
Yeah.
And apparently not, because he's got a longtime girlfriend. But I think because I'd seen his stand-up.
She could be a beard.
This was so different. You know, it was very good. It was dark. There were really funny parts, but it was very dark. It was just I feel like it was just a glimpse into the insanity he was feeling going through lockdown and trying to film a special for over a year by himself.
It's like solitary confinement, dude. That literally turns people insane. They use it as a fucking jail. Like you're a horrible inmate. You were gonna turn you insane, putting you in a.
I feel a little duped though, because that is very much the picture that's coming across. But there's a woman living in the house with him, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like you think he's totally 100% alone, never leaves. I mean,
he obviously leaves. Like, you can go outside and walk around, but I think you're really expecting. What do you want him to do?
It's not a big criticism.
You want him to lock himself in there? Oh.
When I found out he was living in his girlfriend's
house, that old lady
house,
gonna get old real quick.
A little bit away.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would be upset if he was kind of faking it and living in I was wondering, is he just in his pool house and he's got like a mansion that he walks to after every take, or?
Yeah, that's what it was. It's like a second house.
So what? I don't know, but
in the pool house.
I don't think
Beverly Hills mansion pool house.
Hey, the bigger the house, the more lonely it is, Travis.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what?
I like the idea of him.
Would be 1,000 times worse is living in like New York City. There's 9 million people within a mile of you, and you can't talk to anyone. You can't leave. You know the city, like New York City, that would be the fucking hell on earth during the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a juxtaposition in major cities. It's like a known thing where you would think because there's 9 million people, it would be easier to like cohabitate, right? But you actually are more alone in large cities because in smaller communities, everybody needs each other more. In larger communities, everything's provided. And so you're actually, if without COVID, people like lose their minds in cities more quickly because they're like they're shut off from a world, but there's people all around them.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
I think about that a lot. Actually,
it's a sick thing. It's like it's like a fact of life for a lot of communities. It's really strange.
My brother lived in New York City, and that was basically what happened to him. I mean, I don't think he ever expressed it like that, but I was thinking like, yeah, if there's 9 million people around you and you like are not talking to any of them, that that makes you go insane.
Well, think about
there's
this.
people all around you, but you're
think about
you go to your apartment and then you go to work and then you go to your apartment and you see people all over the place. But
what's the difference between this and like an author going to a place to get, I
agree.
You know what I mean? He might have leaned into this for art purposes. You know what I mean?
I also don't think it's the case where he's just like hamming it up. When he's laying on his like little sleeping bag or with his blanket on the floor and just like he's like muttering into the microphone. He's just having these strange thoughts about maybe that was the problem when we decided like
maybe that was a bad call. Maybe that was not good.
Yeah.
I like that part a lot.
No, when he lost it, when he was trying to do that simple like monologue, was like, God, fuck God. I was like, dude, that was so like, imagine how many takes he was doing on every single, thing that he was doing. So after a while, dude, can you imagine continuing to do that documentary or whatever the special for a year and how many takes he was doing and beating, dude, such a simple take made him lose his mind. That was pretty that was like one of the most simple things he was doing was just saying some meaningless thing and he couldn't do it because he's going insane probably. Yeah, man, it was for me it was just mental health, like people commentary on mental health obviously, which a lot of people seemingly are scared to do to this extent, you know what I mean? Like it's being featured more and more in films and TV, but not like a real person showing himself like breaking down as well as creating while that's what moved me the most is he was willing to let you watch him maybe not at his best, at all.
Yeah. You said earlier, honesty.
Creating takes a lot out of you. That pushes your mental health to the limit.
Nick, you saying something?
No, I think my heating, whatever, the HVAC kicked on.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this movie. I'll give you my. You want to start rating it because I can start you off.
Let's rate it.
That's a 10. 10.
What do you got, Eric?
Well, no, I don't. I want to talk about why don't we have a lot to talk about, and is this actually a movie,
or is it not a movie? It's a documentary.
Well, I feel like we had plenty to talk about. We've been going.
To be honest,
I mean, it's only an hour and a half, and we've been talking for 30 minutes. That's
I think we have nothing to talk about because y'all are scared to talk about real shit, which is what this movie is about. This is about real shit. This isn't your bullshit you've been picking the last 9 months.
I'm happy to pivot. If we were gonna like the larger conversation, I think if we were to find a thread throughout the entire movie, what would you guys say it would be? I'll give my answer eventually, but what do you guys think that this is all about?
Larger conversation. That's what I was trying to get into.
The larger conversation.
Kick off scores at 30 minutes after.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is about the downfall of society. Yeah. It's over.
In which way? It's certainly a social, like a social commentary.
I mean, obviously, it's technology. The utilization of technology. Children are fucked. My nieces are pieces of shit. They don't want to do fucking anything but be on a tablet or a screen. Like that's a worthless It's over. It's over. It's literally over. Do you not get that?
I think a very compelling...
It's over. He knows it's over.
Something to think about. It used to be when people were kids, the top 10 jobs, they wanted to be a police officer, a doctor, a fireman, something like that, a lawyer.
Teacher.
Now, the top 3 jobs are Instagram influencer, YouTuber, or social media star.
Sucking
And
your own
that-
Which are all the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that puts into perspective
Love
show.
me,
the mindset of
kiss
these
me,
circus.
give me
kids.
all your attention.
This
That's
is a
what every
circus.
kid wants these
It's
days.
a
Who's
fucking show.
Jamil?
You were doing
The
that?
man having
You were doing a Silvio?
He was.
Well, that's what I thought he was. but I
man
don't-
having sex with your wife.
Yeah.
Were you not doing a Silvio?
That's what I don't.
Almost sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. What do you
But
got?
yeah, technology, I mean, it's almost more like. I mean, that whole brand thing is really where I
Everything.
really
is-
feel it. Like
Mm.
that. Like I did that. Well, actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna dox myself. But well, anyway, I went to
What?
I went to the gay pride parade and was paid
With
to
Mike
take.
Marion, we know.
No, was paid to take
gonna watch
photos of it, and just that whole thing of like these brands, gay pride,
Oh, yeah, they
pretending
don't- yeah.
all this stuff, the
Poured out.
social. We care. I mean, he put it perfectly. The question is, will you stand with Wheatman in their fight against Lyme disease? I mean, that's perfect. 'Cause
It's perfect.
these brands are
They
so
don't care.
like, yeah, they don't care.
Or you can dust
All
yourself
candy.
off and sell Butterfingers.
Dude.
Yeah, no. Or J.P. Morgan honestly doesn't care about racism.
No. JP Morgan is not racist in
In
theory.
theory.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the real downfall, which is sort of technology, but it's this social manipulation kind of stuff.
Yep. Everyone wants to be a brand now. Even look at us. We're trying to do a podcast. Fucking losers.
Oh, I'm gonna say some pinko commie rag stuff now.
Of course.
All right, which I think he's
He's
very
a
much in tune
commie!
with, and I think that there's some validity to it. If you think about what capitalism is, it's a very individual-centric thing, right? It's
Yeah.
about the individual accumulating as much wealth as possible, and if everybody does that, things will go well. We've gotten to a point where social media, it's all about you. Everything's all about us, and you lose more and more sense of community as you keep going in that route, and we're at like hyper capitalism to the nth degree, where we're past like actual accumulation of money, and you can use your personal brand like YouTube influencer to accumulate wealth while at the same time getting your attention dollars simultaneously. It's like you've reached like a complete singularity of the different types of like personal focus. You know what I mean? Social and monetary are finally one thing, and it's fucked. It's like I asked Carly how her vacation was. She said, I read 4 books. I said, like, it was like I wanted to know, like, how was your time with your family? I did this and I did that, and I want you to know about it. And I posted pictures about it. And
Dude.
it's like, what's your brain? It's a weird. I don't know.
That's so weird. It's very sad, man. Yeah, we're pretty much being ripped away from what we're supposed to be as human beings. Literally,
But
like,
that's the thing. I don't think there's an underlying like what we're supposed to be, but this is definitely like this is a brave new world approach that we live in. I was talking with Travis about this. Like we live in Aldous Huxley's thing of like if you just put bread and circuses in front of everybody and just have everybody fuck all day long and give them drugs, and just it's like you distract everybody's attention from reality of what they're doing, so they don't do anything, and that's their life. There's just this endless. It's just stimulus. It's just like you're animals of consumption, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which he actually had that song
Literally.
about a little bit of everything, or
all of the time.
All the
All the
time.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like this sick circus song, right? It's like this carnival hell that he's in. I think it's perfect.
Which I don't think any of you really thought this, but that's one reason I loved that Breckenshire movie. What was it called? Inisshire?
Oh, the Banshees.
Okay.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Rick and Morty.
I really felt like that was a whole commentary. It was the anti-Huxley, thing where, what's his name? What's the redheaded guy's name?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Anyway, Brendan Gleeson. When Brendan Gleeson was finally like, I've had enough. I'm not wasting my life doing this stupid bullshit anymore, and I'm gonna live an actual meaningful life. And
Okay.
I mean, that's all we can hope for is eventually, people will, rebel back against that.
Right. Now.
Say they've had enough. I want to live a real life.
Now.
His name was Sonny Larry, if I remember correctly.
What?
Sonny Larry.
The only critique I'd have of things like this is all he's doing when artists do this or people write books about it or whatever it is, all they're doing is they just critique, but they don't posit another way. Like they don't posit what they think we should do instead.
Right.
They kind of just leave it there and say it sucks, which I think we can all agree with to a certain extent anyway, but there's no synthesis. There's no like prescription of what we should do instead.
Right.
And I feel like that's where I start to critique stuff like that.
I agree. And what about maybe irony, or you could say even fakeness? I'm trying to think of the other word. Hypocrite. He's being a little bit of a hypocrite because of how he makes a living. Is
of course.
100. Yes.
I mean, he's in Hollywood.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
But he lives in the same medium, like of social media. Like he can't do this without being famous first by making.
I think that's the whole.
Yeah.
point.
He is
this fucking echo chamber of he's actually a part of.
Well, he says that the self-aware can't, take away how much of it. Was that this movie? When they were talking about that?
I don't know. I don't blame him at the same time. It's almost like now we're all locked in. Like you can't. It's almost impossible.
Dude, it's crazy
to
because
yourself from what we've become due to smartphones.
I think that
that's where I think it all changed was like because before, like think of what Hollywood was like. I mean, it was the elite of the elites. You had to go there, and I'm sure you had to do some crazy. I mean, you had to have talent, but people probably did some crazy shit to get in those circles. Because people didn't have video cameras, but even when people had personal camcorders in like the 90s or 2000s, like before YouTube and the internet allowed people to broadcast themselves, like it was just like no one could really live that life. But now you can be famous on your own with a smartphone. That is powerful. Like society has never had that. It's crazy.
That's why it's
fucking. But why wouldn't you as an 8-year-old be like, I'm gonna film myself buying stupid like baseball cards and open them up and people are gonna subscribe and I'll make money doing that? It's like insane.
Yeah. I remember Goslin was telling me he was watching people play video games or something like that. And I was like,
that's the main dude, there's so many niche like market like
blew my mind.
That's a huge market.
Like the ASMR.
He told me he's not like that. He said that's not weird. They make millions of dollars playing FIFA.
ASMR.
And I was like, what is going on here?
Dude, I
at least understand because it's something you do, but it's like the people who are into like I don't know, people will watch people open a box, which I kind of I guess, but it's like look at what this company sent me. Look at these clothes, and I'm like,
dude, people are fucking weird, man. It's like God knows what they need to get stimulated. It's all
now it's like
we're trying to get past 10 followers right now. I mean, look at us.
Views. So we probably have no followers.
And maybe this is me speaking personally, but like we're so addicted to picking up our phone that it has to do something when we pick it up. Like sometimes I'll pick it up just to check it, but you're looking for a message or notification, or you're gonna like I'm gonna look at this website or look up this on this, and it's just like now it's like how do we?
He mentioned it. It actually there are studies that are proving that it's like a neurological phenomenon. It's rerouting brain patterns.
I don't.
It's like fucking with us.
I don't doubt that at all. Yeah,
dude.
Everybody knows that.
We're supposed to be out in like the wilderness with our own thoughts in our head, not slamming our face into some other thing feeding us.
We were for so many years, but now like technology has never advanced at this rapid a pace in such a short amount of time that I think that's what's fucking with us.
I mean, I continue to argue.
Dude, like we need to figure out how to like say certain shit and go to outer space pretty much. Like,
right. Is it advancing though?
We don't hunt and gather.
I don't get how it's advancing yet, like seemingly CGI, like you know what I mean? Like we even said, like if they made Starship Troopers now, it would look worse. Like it's advancing in a way that isn't like, in my opinion, advancement. It's like we're going sideways.
Well, yeah, I think I agree, but it's almost like we can't go back. It's my point. It's like unless we
Well,
lost the internet or something, but it's like
You kidding?
We can't go back as a society.
I
We've
mean,
already started going back. Racism is rampant nowadays.
Well, I'm talking about the technological aspect of it. Like, we're not just going to be like one day it's like, you know what's bad? Smartphones. Everyone.
well, yeah, well that's because
I wouldn't be surprised.
But that's the problem with humans, that like we could admit that like a certain sect of people could probably do that for the better good, but some won't and would refuse to. So we will never coexist. It will never happen. They've got us by the balls, and you're gonna do what your fucking
Yeah, what
neighbor
are you gonna
does.
go down to the bank on a Friday and cash your
Exactly.
check?
Yeah, no, you're not. That's like
You have time
they
for that?
But money, that's because money is not supposed to be, you know what I mean? That's another, like, we're not supposed to be even worrying about that. I need to go to a bank just to get my money. Like,
Well,
dude, we've been so fucked and fucking duped.
well, that's what's crazy too, is they're trying to get away from using cash in some places, and it's like that's become some of the hot topics. Like some people are like, I don't have access to a smartphone, so I can't be like completely decentralized from a bank and like use smart pay and all that shit. And then you're getting into prejudice and stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
The Bitcoin standard. Look out.
I'm out of that shit. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah,
it's coming, man. Bitcoin, it's here.
I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Like Desi, like is talking. Like, did you watch Robert? Dude, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about politics. A politician, you're a Democrat or Republican, you're a dumb fuck. If you're anything, none of this is working. None of it.
No, it's not.
Like we're wasting
I'd say
your time.
that comes down to a deeper problem in society these days. Like people are just like divided. I don't think COVID helped. I mean, feels like one giant fucking social experiment went wrong, you know? Oh, let's see what happens when you lock them in their cages.
Not an experiment, though. It's done on purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a live study. Yeah. It was a crazy.
Yeah, they continue to murder us for profit.
That's actually a funny point. Is you talk about politics. There's a lot of fucked up stuff in our country's past, right? But if you look at how the foundation,
how would you even know? They're the ones who spin the narrative, anyways. I don't know what the fuck has happened in reality. How the fuck would we know?
Okay, that's a different wormhole to get down.
Mean, really.
But
stuff happened. We swear.
How they set up elections in the past. One of the smartest things they did to ensure the two groups were working together is for the presidential election. When one party won, the other party was automatically the vice president. And so it ensured both groups were in power and working together. And there is such a division in between the two parties now. There's never going to.
That was actually prior to political parties, because the first was Washington and Adams. Adams got second in votes, so he became vice president. It was you could be, and then political parties shifted with Adams and Jefferson for the second, but the president was set beforehand, where it was 1 and 2 are president and vice. So yeah, you would. I mean, it stands to reason that would follow, but it wasn't along party lines initially when that was in place.
Well, yeah. But that's how it was originally set up to work, is to make sure they could coexist, right? You wanted,
but the person who got second would always be from the other party, right? Because that's who lost.
I think Nick's point is political parties didn't exist at that point
when they started doing it. It happened very quickly. But they were very worried about setting up political parties. The idea was to not have political parties. And then as soon as Washington stepped back, Adams and Jefferson, who were great friends, like very good friends, immediately started saying, oh, he rapes his slaves. Oh, they started going. And, Adams was very conservative. Jefferson was very liberal. And they created political parties almost immediately. it was like a foregone conclusion it would happen. So yes, it happened naturally, but
how else do you win an election? You gotta
cheat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was like the first real election, because the first one was like everybody's like, I wonder who's gonna win. The guy who won the Revolutionary War, maybe.
Yeah,
that guy.
Uncle George.
The guy in the
He didn't even
Bill,
he didn't even want to be president. I don't
had it
think.
wrapped up at that point.
Well, they all said that. They did that for did that for several presidencies. They follow. So you know the town. You know Cincinnati as a town is so everybody would take the example of the General Cincinnatus from Rome, who was the one who said, "I don't want to be in charge," but it made him more popular. So everybody, like all the historians say, that's how everybody presented themselves to be president. But in their diaries, they were like, "Oh, I really want it. Oh, I really want this."
Dude.
You know, so they're all like pretending to be like Washington, which he was pretending to be like Cincinnatus.
You don't want me to go on our founding fathers. Don't get me started on our founding fathers, guys.
Historical fact of the week. Thank you for that. I never heard of Cincinnatus before.
Thank you, Nick. Got him.
Let's get into these scores.
Played well by Maximus and Gladiator.
Wow.
He did the Cincinnatus role.
I'll go first
Just
in case I need to dip out. So since this wasn't really a movie, I had a tough time trying to give it a fair rating.
But what was it to you? It wasn't a movie, is my question.
Well, it wasn't really a comedy special. It wasn't really a musical.
Documentary.
It's hard to catch.
I would say that it is a it's a biopic.
It's a cry for help.
Yeah.
It's better than most of the shit you brought to the table.
I'm gonna give this a 7.12.
I can't wait to go back on the scores to see what this is compared to everyone else's. That's all I'm gonna say. I want to see the comparison.
He needs a 9.5 to beat Manos.
Well, if you need a reminder, Starship Troopers at a 9.28.
Wow,
That's going to be tough to beat here.
Good for that movie. I wish I had watched it so I could have sunk that score by
I would have just
2 or
added
3
on
points.
mine.
Please,
You wouldn't
please
have,
do.
though,
You
Ben.
can update us on the next podcast.
That's the thing. You wouldn't have tanked it. You wouldn't have tanked it.
Maybe.
You would have been like, "Oh wow, I completely misjudged my initial thoughts on this, and
You
I'm
gave
so
it
far off
less than
base
an
that I
8,
actually
I'd
think
give
I
you
might be
$15.
mentally handicapped."
I'll give you $15.
All right.
Okay.
I'll give it a 10. Give it over to Erica, Travis, or Zach.
I need some
What are you
time.
giving it? You need some
What's
time?
that?
Is that what you said?
I'll go.
Yeah, a little bit of time.
Zach's-
All right, Zach.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
You're right.
I'm a fan of Bo Burnham. I think he's incredibly talented, creative. He's funny. He hits on, sensitive topics, but he just fucking kills them. They're hilarious when he does it, even in his stand-up specials. I feel like if I had seen this during the pandemic, I would have given it a 10 out of 10. Just because it would have been so relatable. I loved the white woman's Instagram song. I loved the Jeff Bezos songs. The whole production, I mean, it's very impressive to be locked down for a year and be able to make something of this quality on your own. All the lighting, all the time that he went into preparing the songs and the material is very well done.
I love that review.
Sounds like you want to give it more than 8.5 then.
So now I know what I would call it. Sorry. I had thought of this while I was watching it. It's a one-man show. That's what I would call
It
it.
really is, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
A one-man band.
Yeah, well,
La la la.
I'll give it an 8.
Oh,
I think
I'll give
I
it
think
an
the
8.
whole brand cultural awareness consultant part gives it right off the bat a 7.5 That was like some of the smartest genius. Just some of the, especially in the beginning. I mean, for me, it kind of tailed off towards the end, and I think that there was sort of like I don't know what, there was like a correlation between his
Depression.
declining mental health over the pandemic continuing and the sort of the quality of the content. So I really enjoyed the first like 30 minutes, especially probably, but just some of the wording he used to make some of these jokes. I mean, it was fucking like brilliance. I mean, just how concisely and perfectly he was conveying these, messages. As I've said 10 times, I mean, you said the Bagel Bites one. The Bagel Bites one was good, but I mean, I'm going to say it again because that's how much I loved it. The question is, will you stand with Wheat Thins in their fight against Lyme disease?
Fight against insert cause.
Yeah. What do you stand for, Bagel Bites? And
No, who are you?
What do you represent?
And just the thing where he was like, is. I mean, just, I don't know. Some of that stuff really got to me. The songs, I loved some of the songs. The Apology song, whatever that was called.
AT&T.
Yeah, give it a. I mean, I don't know if I can go higher than that because it tailed off a little bit.
Yeah,
because it's
no
not
Top Gun, that's for sure.
There's no movie. It's not a movie. It's a documentary, I guess I would call it.
Documentary movie film. It was filmed on movie film, wasn't it?
It was
Sure.
Is there a difference?
Film,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was filmed, so therefore it's a film.
Yeah.
Don't
So
they-
it was a documentary.
Don't they
Digital.
film
Documentary
television, no?
film.
Don't they film
I'm a documentary filmmaker. Nigel. Yeah, I'm giving. Did I give my review yet? It's a 10 out of 10.
What's your score?
It's only Eric left.
Do I go?
Yeah, I said it 7 times. It's a 10 out
He was
of
the
10.
first one to go.
It's
Well,
perfection.
he said he didn't, so he tricked me.
Perfect.
Jeez, this is tough.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna stay with my Travis scale. Hey.
Oy.
Hey.
And then that to me is like when I sit down and watch something, how does it make me feel? What's my experience? I'm in between a 6.5 and a 7, so I'll go 6.75. I would like to get points, but I'm not doing that for the creativity and the skill because I do, as I mentioned earlier, I do really appreciate that. I am curious, like what people think. I don't think it's a documentary because I feel like it would be more real. I don't know. It's almost like it didn't matter what day or what time it was. It was just inferred that it was during the pandemic. I don't even know if he ever mentions it.
No, they say he never mentions it.
Yeah, so it's almost just inferred like this guy's just kind of locked in here. But we get it because we know the context, I guess. But to me, the fact that it just felt like almost like just a bunch of YouTube videos compiled into one. And it was funny, and they were like, I want to listen to the songs again, but like, I don't think I'd sit down and be like, I'm going to watch it start to finish again. Kind of like Travis, for me, I was like kind of hoping for like, I don't know, I guess there wasn't going to be an ending, but more of a through line and an ending to the whole thing. But I don't think it was bad. I'm not trying to come down on it, but yeah, for how I felt watching it, 6.75.
See, I feel like what I think is that after I've watched it for like the 3rd time, I feel like that's probably what it was like for you to watch it, not in like for the first time. Like I did notice it more of just like it was just song after song kind of, and I was like, I could see, but I had already I already knew that. I think I could see that, but yeah, I sort of got it. Had to be the pandemic thing. If you weren't attached to the pandemic, if you weren't kind of able to, then it really wouldn't mean as much. It's similar to a movie. If you can't identify with what they're fucking, what they're trying to get you to
emotionally
feel,
connect with the character.
I'm
I
big
mean,
on
for me, it's like,
emotion.
for me, I not that I'm good at making music, but I make music by myself. So I can relate kind of to being like, this is dumb. Why am I even doing this? And like, I'm not famous. I'll never be famous. But like, that's maybe I could
Don't
feel
say
it
that, Jet.
That's not my name anymore.
So I wanted to bring up though real quick.
Swanner.
Without knowing who picked this movie, because I think I asked Wyatt while we were golfing and
Who
didn't
picked
like, say
it?
who picked it.
Although I'd already told him I picked it during golf, but then he asked
Oh,
me.
well, I missed that. Regardless. So when I started watching it, my first guess, but like I asked him, and in my head, the order of who I thought it was would have been Nick first, Eric second, and Wyatt probably third. Would have been my third pick. On
Little
who.
did you know that Zach is the OG fan of Bo Burnham.
He's an OB.
He gave it an 8.5, and collectively we came up with 8.4. So I think we did a really good job of coming together to get to Zach's opinion. That's how I see it.
What was the final score, Nick?
It's a good way to look at it.
8.4, 8.395, but I think we can give it to 8.4.
Who's picking for next week?
Well, I was just looking at that. It's actually you.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. You nailed
Hey,
I do have.
Welcome
I
back.
have one that I came up with recently that it's probably going to cost money, though. Is the problem?
Is it Starship Troopers?
Oh, no.
No. Has anyone ever seen? And this is a movie that I haven't seen either. That I just learned about, kind of, that intrigued me. Has anyone ever seen Raising Arizona?
No.
Yes.
Is that Nick
With
Cage?
It's a Coen, very early Coen brothers, and Nick Cage is the star, one of the stars. I'm very interested in watching it.
Yeah, that's.
I've
perfect.
always wanted to watch that.
Yeah.
I've never. That's definitely a shoehorn for me. I've known about it for a long time, but never seen it.
When did you watch it, Nick? How long has it been?
It gives me a little concern that there's Nick Cage in it, though.
Nick Cage.
It's
Nick Cage is
been.
No, I'm just.
It's
First time I
old.
saw it, I was in high school. Second time I saw it, I was in college, and I probably watched it maybe twice throughout the entirety of college, but I haven't seen it since. Very important clue of the movie is the title. If we are
obviously. I know what the
plot
synopsis is.
Yeah, I've read it several times.
Oh, it's not. No. Not about actually raising a baby. It's
about raising as in destroying it, right?
No, there's a game within the game. If there's it's like a fun little Easter egg hunt if you're paying attention at the right level. I'm not going to spoil it because if we do it, it'll be fun to.
My only other thought on one that I've just wanted to kind of rewatch another Coen Brothers film is No Country. I haven't watched that all the way through in a while, and I wonder. I was floored when I watched that originally, and I don't know if I'd feel the same way now. But
you would.
And even when I watched it
would.
subsequently afterwards, I still was in suspense when what's the guy's name?
Anton.
The Spanish.
Don Chigurh.
Yeah, when he's going after people, So I don't know.
Flips his coin.
I am down for some rock climbing.
I watched it pretty recently, but I'll fucking watch it
I
again.
am down.
That would blend the two worlds together. Right now, we're reading Cormac McCarthy book called Blood Meridian, and it is fucking money. It's unbelievable. I've had it in my bookshelf. I had Serge's copy since I've been a kid, and I've always wanted to read it. And now we're reading it. It's incredible.
Wasn't that
fine.
fun?
So wait, which one are we gonna go with?
Your call,
Best
Ben. It's your movie.
Is No Country for Men streaming anywhere?
I'll watch No Country again, but
It's going to be 3 weeks in a row of 10s. It's pretty simple.
10 Hut.
Yeah, I mean,
At ease.
it's up to you, Ben.
That doesn't. I don't think.
Travis does not want to watch No Country because
No Country
that will
Road,
take
but,
Starship Troopers to a second ever rated.
No, I don't care. No, I don't care about that.
Not. Who has not
I think
seen
it's
it?
on. It looks like it's on Prime. Well, I don't know if anybody's not seen it, but
What's the point of
it
that?
looks like it's on Prime. I don't know.
Well, no, they say premium subscription. These
I
motherfuckers,
don't know.
they're
No.
liars. All of them.
God damn it!
It says
Fuck.
you need. Yeah, no, you can't get it on Prime.
Pluto TV.
No.
I was
Swear
actually
to
thinking
God,
about
that
you.
pisses
Too bad I wasted my premium Philo subscription.
I wasted
trial
we
already.
wasted the good surprise on you.
Hey, Eric, I will say that I've already been I was gonna wait until I get a little bit further to have more of a sense of it, but I was already thinking while I was reading that you would fuck with this book hardcore, like hardcore.
I don't know if you heard me, but I was trying to ask. Isn't that the Coen Brothers' first movie, Blood Meridian, or was that Blood Simple?
I thought
No, Blood Simple.
Okay,
that's Wes Anderson's movie. That's
I'm an idiot.
Bottle Rocket?
The Coen Brothers' first movie is Blood Simple. Which is not, you're thinking Bottle Rocket.
I'd like to
and
do
Blood Simple.
Raising Arizona just because I haven't seen it. It's going to cost you $4 probably.
Not me.
I'll watch it. I don't care.
I'm a bootlegger.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think I'd rather that too anyway, because I haven't seen it.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, well, I got to get going. I got to go do some dog stuff.
Hey, good luck, Ben.
All right, later, Horners.
Later, Ben.
Horn it up. Horn dog.
All right, well, I'd like to do a little bit of fun free ball, and this is not because Ben left. It's just I wanted to do it anyway, but I'd like to get down a little fun conversation. This was our original idea for the Shoehorners podcast, was to talk about underrated movies. I'd like everyone, now, I didn't give you any time to think ahead, but you can bring an underrated comedy to the table.
Oh, baby.
Sure.
And I will start. This is a movie that I really like, and it's funny because I'm just gonna tell you the movie so you can start thinking about it. But oh geez, now I can't remember what it's called.
Oh geez, Rick.
That's pretty good.
Oh geez. Oh geez.
Well, I can help
That's
you.
good. That's why we have so many viewers.
Oh,
I'll jump in and save you
I'd
here.
like to introduce a new segment. Oh, wait a second. Never mind.
No wait. All right, it's
Jesus
God,
Christ.
God damn you, Ben Stiller.
Jesus.
Is it
gotta
Ben
be one of
Stiller's
his-
fault?
Chris.
I can't.
You all right?
No, not okay. It's not here. Where is it?
Look at you.
Well, while you're figuring out that, I got two things I wanted to say. The first is I've noticed that I probably have a problem because I'm consistently the only person really drinking on this thing.
That's false. That's
So
false.
Yeah.
okay, good. And then the second thing is something to track through the next several months. I'm going to have my first shipment coming for hair restoration programs. So every week we'll be able to check the progress of my hair. So, and by December,
Are you really doing
by
that?
December, I should be looking slightly different by then.
This is amazing.
Minoxidil?
This
or
is
something else?
amazing.
Well, I've done that before, so that's part of this program. But it also has finasteride or something like that, where it's like it's a double whammy drug bit. And they told me straight up, what's gone is gone, but we can try to thicken you up. And
Oh, really? What's gone is gone? Die?
Anyway, I just thought I let everybody know that this is where I am in my life.
All right, the movie I wanted to talk about is
I'm sweating.
2007, Heartbreak Kid,
Oh yeah.
Ben Stiller,
Oh,
Jerry Stiller.
that's underrated.
I think so. I don't think
I guess so. That's a Farley brother movie, right?
Yeah, it's
You gotta
Farley Brothers.
conquer. When your wife tells you to conquer,
Yeah,
you conquer.
But it's funny is I kind of could really relate to this movie, and I told my wife that she was very offended, obviously. but
So
I feel like they took something relatable and obviously pushed it to the extremes of the extremes.
Yeah, I got one.
From what I heard, this is a remake, right? I've never seen the original, but I heard that there's an original of this that I didn't know that when I first saw it. But I also I could be wrong and misremembering, but I do. The only thing I really remember and like I laughed hard was when he's rocking after the sexual escapade. Like,
yeah.
That's
Fuck me like
classic
a
Ben
black
Stiller.
guy.
That is Ben Stiller to a T, rocking in a chair.
yeah.
I mean, I got two. You just want one?
No, depends.
Do you guys remember Funny People? That's my throwaway. Funny People.
We just watched that. We watched it last week.
It's tremendous. It's kind of
Was that the Adam Sandler movie?
So many comedians are in it. I mean, Jason Schwartzman is. I'm gonna fuck her. It's been 2 weeks. I'm gonna fuck her. Like he's counting. I fucked her. You had sex with her, man? Really? It's like Seth Rogen being very early Seth Rogen. I think he didn't. It's good. But my other one,
I really like Adam Sandler. You can tell that they're about to make it a blooper.
Yeah.
When he's fucking the girl and he.
He does the merman or. Dude.
I liked it so much better than the first time I saw it. And the first time I saw it, I found it in a $5.99 bin or something, and I bought it, and I was like, man, that was the worst purchase I ever made. But then we saw it on Netflix recently or whatever, and I was actually reassessing it. It was good.
Yeah, I agree. My other one is...
And Ira works at a deli counter.
Ira, exactly. His name is Ira. Come on, man. Dude, who the fuck else is in it? There's so many... Jonah Hill. I mean, there's literally every.
Aziz Ansari's in it,
and they're all kind of young. They're like up and coming. I feel like at the time, this was like kind of early-ish.
No, I mean it's way after Superbad though. This
and Knocked Up and shit.
No, I think this was like 2007, somewhere around there.
This is Judd Apatow, like way after. This is after Knocked Up for sure.
Oh yeah, his fucking wife is in every goddamn movie. My other one is I've been talking about this. I think it's a Sam Mendes movie. I don't think anyone's seen it. It's called Away We Go, and it's got Maya Rudolph and John Krasinski.
I've never seen it.
It will kind of surprise you. John Krasinski plays the dumbest. He's like he's just dumb and like very. It's hard to explain. And pretty much, I just want you to watch it for the Jim Gaffigan, and there's this insane white skinny woman that's in every movie, and it's so good.
The problem that I already have with the movie is that you said Maya Rudolph, and Maya Rudolph to me is. Well, there's a deeper layer of why I hate her. And so, first of all, she's very unattractive to me.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. She's married to P.T. Anderson, and it makes me feel like I judge P.T. Anderson for thinking that that's acceptable for him.
Yeah, I hate her.
It's simply unacceptable, I think.
I hate her, too. I hate her now, specifically. Like, she's in stuff, and I'm just like, well shit, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I don't think she's really doing her thing in this one. She's more so kind of a tamer version. So
she's a straight character.
It's just like a young couple who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're like, I guarantee you'll laugh your fucking ass off within the first hour is fucking hilarious.
I cannot stand her when she does Kamala Harris.
She sucks dick.
Yeah.
I hate all that. I hate all that shit. No, I mean, this has Catherine O'Hara, Jeff Daniels is in it. It's got some sick actors. I don't know if you know who Allison Janney is. That was the crazy. Look her up if you know the face.
She's the older woman, right?
Yeah, she's kind of older. She always plays some weird kind of little bit.
She was like a superstar actress when she was younger, I think. Like a hot actress, I think.
What is she in? What would I know her from?
She was in Juno.
She was in the TV show with Anna Faris. Mom.
Oh, she was Mom, Nick. She's Mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know. She's in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, she's
in The Help.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of shit. The West.
She's good. She's good. She's good.
Yeah. Eric.
Yeah, I got two for you. One we've talked about on this podcast, Major Pain.
Oh, that's not underrated. That's nostalgia boosted.
I feel like it gets lost to the time.
Yeah.
Thing. Like I was just actually looked at a list just to see if there's anything like I feel like Rush Hour is not underrated, but like
what?
Rush Hour? It's not.
Oh, yep.
But like, who talks about Rush Hour?
Yeah, it's forgotten.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of forgotten movies, but
what was the movie again?
Major Pain.
Because I was gonna please go on a Wayans tangent here for me, please.
Don't Be a Menace to South Central is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's great. Mine would be number one choice, and I think I brought it up on this podcast before, is Waiting for Guffman by Christopher Guest.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Excellent.
I've never seen it.
It's very dry. It's not as like laugh out loud or slapsticky as like you would know Best in Show. I don't know if you've ever
I've
seen
never seen that either.
Whoa.
That's the one to recommend. People
Eugene Levy.
Yeah, it's
We
like
watch.
same cast.
Amanda watches that on repeat. I mean,
Is
it's
that
always on
Catherine
around here.
O'Hara? She in that as well? She's in like
Yeah.
everything with Eugene Levy, right?
It's like a guy who uses the same cast every time.
Right.
They're regulars.
Has
But
anyone seen? Do you remember Blank?
It's fucking funny, dude.
Do you remember Blank Man?
Yeah, we talked about that, Wyatt.
Excellent.
Fucking dude. J5. J5.
There's a piece, Wyatt, in
Amazing.
Best in Show, and it's about these. They're like closet lesbians, essentially. Like they like. So it doesn't matter about the context, but they're sitting there talking. One's the trainer, one's the owner of the dog, and you know the woman that has the pixie haircut that kind of looks like I don't know. She's in shows. She's in Role Models, also an underrated comedy.
Who is she in Role Models?
She's like the woman.
She's the woman
that does the intervention stuff.
Yeah.
She hosts.
I forget her name.
She hosts.
Which one?
The NBC.
She's the blonde, the short blonde hair. Short hair.
She's the new host of The Weakest Link. Now you have to.
Yes, exactly.
What?
Anyway, you know who she is, Wyatt, if you saw her. So she's sitting there and she says
Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there with Stifler's mom. She's sitting there with Stifler's mom, and that's the dynamic. And the owner, she's like, she gives the unconditional love, and I'm the disciplinarian. And it's the same thing that worked for my family when I was growing up until my mother committed suicide in '84. And like that's the type of punchlines that are in these type of movies that just
you tell me
floor
Jane Lynch. You tell me Jane Lynch, and I come running. She's probably the most funny woman.
That shit is so
lived.
funny, dude.
She's
All of those, but to Eric's
and
point,
you're
Waiting
saying
for Guffman.
Jennifer Coolidge is the other woman?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
scene?
You guys
That's
both
amazing.
Show. Wow.
Yeah, I
You guys
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that
Best in
either.
Show?
No.
That might be. Hey, I pick next week. I will pick Best in Show.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I mean,
Party down.
but Eric,
Jane, oh god.
Eric's a deep, like, I like Christopher Guest, but I always think in my head that Eric is like the authority on Christopher Guest in a way.
Maybe
Like you like a Mighty Wind. I don't go that deep. Like I like it. It's okay, but like you like that. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
makes
I really like
that
Waiting
means like a fart.
that's the deepest cut I think that he has.
Yeah.
And did you see the Mascots movie on Netflix?
No, I did not.
No,
So that was his newest one. You know the woman, she's in all of them, but she's the one that has the braces. She's one of the yuppies in Best in Show, the catalog people. The Busy Bee. What happened to Busy Bee?
Oh, what's her name? Famous. What's her name? Someone with the
I can't pull her name, but she's the main character in Mascots.
Parker Posey or something like that.
Yeah, she's so funny. She's the main character in Mascots. It's all right. It's pretty good.
What did he have to do with Princess Bride?
I think he directed it.
He acts. He's also an actor. Like you'd recognize his face. I think he acts in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
He's married to the woman who won Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, you know Christopher Guest, Travis. He's in A Few Good Men.
Yeah, I don't remember him from that.
He's on the stand in A Few Good Men.
I don't remember him in that.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap. Exactly.
He's the six-fingered man.
He's Spinal Tap is. I forgot about that movie. That's so good.
Right? That's the six-fingered man. Can't even tell because all his pictures are of him old and.
I'd say he's like a comedic genius. I'd say.
Oh, he's a genius. That's yes. Well, that's a great pick. I think Waiting for Guffman's a very good pick. I'm biased, obviously.
All right, well, screw Raising Arizona. Let's just get to Best in Show.
I think if they haven't seen Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show would be better because it's more overall funnier.
Waiting for Guffman's a deeper cut for sure. Like you have to ease into the bath before you hit him with that shit.
Right.
All right, you want to hear mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have two as well. My number 2 seed, I'm gonna go with Idiocracy.
Saw it a long
I was thinking
time
of that.
ago.
Heard it.
I love that movie, especially now in this
Who's in
day
that?
and age.
Owen Wilson, right? Or
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson, yeah.
Justin Long.
Wilson, yeah. Brondo. It's got electrolytes. It's just so good, man.
That's Mike Judge, right?
I think
Dude,
so.
Dude. You know that I read some fact that they wanted to pick futuristic shoes and they picked Crocs. Yeah, Crocs.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Speaking of Luke Wilson,
there are so many good parodies in that movie. It's unreal. Love that movie. I think it's criminally underrated. Luke Wilson was the perfect actor to play that part as well. But my top seed, Wes Anderson flick, The Life Aquatic with Steve.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good one.
I fucking love that movie.
Eric, I like that movie.
Eric's a big Life Aquatic guy.
I am very surprised at how low it's rated.
Is it? That's why I was kind of thinking, like, is that underrated?
57% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yes.
interesting.
I love
It's
that.
because with Wes Anderson, once you see
Wow.
Royal Tenenbaums, can only go down from there.
Oh, I think Rushmore's the superior movie there.
Well, yeah, you like Rushmore, but I don't know. I think.
And I also think Grand
Tenenbaum.
Budapest is.
Jerry will tell you that
Yeah,
Search
okay,
for
but that was a
Spock
long-
is
The Wrath of
film.
Khan is the superior
Wrath of
movie.
Khan. That's one of my favorite Kramer. Jerry will tell you. Oh my god, dude.
Sure, Jerry will tell you.
Jerry will tell you the Wrath of Khan, but no.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they don't. Oh my god, but Jane Lynch. Let's go back to Jane Lynch, dude. Jane Lynch. I mean,
role models would
Is she ever not
be a
good?
pick
Role
for
models
me a
probably
lot of the
great.
times.
Yeah. So Role Models is in my pick that I was gonna say.
Well, just fucking-
Is it? Wait, who hasn't gone? Is it just me or
Just
Travis?
you, just you.
dude.
Okay,
I mean, I
I'd say
kind of like a
that.
second one, but I can't think of it.
I can roll off a few off the tongue here. Jack and Jill. That's
Yeah,
I
that's
criminal.
love that.
Chat.
Criminal. I don't
That's
know.
my boy. Anything that, pretty much anything that he's made in the last 10 years.
Just go
Is-
with it.
Well, I put that in a different category because I feel like
I
that's
like
like
Just Go
everybody
With It.
likes that. It's made for mass appeal and it's not
Yeah.
like silly
Same with-
season.
Same with Blended.
Well, Blended is that's a deep end.
Yeah.
No,
Dude,
Blended is not bad.
I like
No,
Blended.
I like it, but I can't ask other people to like it.
I like the beginning. He's like, so is that for the masturbator? It's just when they're talking about their kids, dude. It's fucking hilarious. There's a big game going on.
I had a
You're
good
gonna
one.
get on the ostrich, you kid, dude.
We reviewed one that I think Death to Smoochie is a very underrated comedy, a very smart comedy.
Eric is not liking that.
It's not.
All right.
Maybe it
That's
wasn't
cool.
great for your liking.
Yeah. A lot of Pauly Shore stuff, but everybody knows that. I like, like everybody
All right, well,
gets that.
what's your favorite Pauly Shore?
The best it's Biodome is 100% my favorite. Son-in-Law is a superior.
In
Jerry
the
will tell
Army
you.
now.
Yeah.
I think Son-in-Law is probably the best Pauly Shore movie, pound for pound, but Biodome is my favorite. It's just so stupid. It's
I'm a
just
fan
so
of-
bad.
I like In the Army Now.
In the Army now,
yeah.
yeah, damn good.
I know you guys
I
like
was a-
that a lot.
I was
Andy
a step,
Dick.
I was a
Yeah,
stepson
Andy Dick,
guy,
exactly.
Son-in-law.
That's
How
why.
about, Arnold Schwarzenegger, pretty underrated comedic actor.
Yeah.
Cop.
I never
Kindergarten
really,
Cop.
Kindergarten Cop.
never really was into those. Maybe as a kid, I forgot. Never really.
The problem in my head, I always think of Arnold Schwarzenegger kid movies and Sinbad. Those are my two. Those
Yeah.
are the same things, and I always go Sinbad.
Yeah.
First Kid is the top. That's the
Other
top
than-
one.
Now you're Jingle. What was the one with the toy?
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah,
Jingle
that
All the
one-
Way is amazing. Yeah,
you get them
that's
both
true.
in that. That's why
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You do.
Sinbad is the best.
We
part
can
of
all
that.
agree on that.
And what's his name? The guy Philip Pullman or? Is that his
Oh
name?
yeah.
Phil-
He's the reason that Jingle All the Way is so good. Phil
Yeah.
Hartman.
Phil Hartman, yeah.
He is piss your pants funny.
Nah, he
Like,
was so good.
you know
I
what
mean,
else was
dude.
piss your pants funny? I haven't been in the Marty chat in a long time. Like maybe it's been over a month. Goslin texted me a screenshot of Jason talking about Ben's kids' first words of like A is for apple, B is for bourbon, C is for bourbon
yeah.
collection, D is for Dada bourbon. And that
Yeah.
punchline for Dada bourbon sent me into a very strange
Dada
place for about 10
bourbon.
minutes last night.
Dada bourbon. That
Dude,
was pretty good. I
Dada
saw
bourbon.
that.
It's just so
When-
stupid, but so perfect. It was so good.
When's the last time you guys watched Horrible Bosses? Because it needs
Great
to be
movie.
yesterday.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
know
it a
Zach
bunch
is
of
over there
times.
Zach
grinning.
is
Zach is the number one fan.
when Charlie Day is complaining, you gotta stop complaining. You gotta stop talking about this. She won't stop trying to have sex with me, dude. That doesn't sound that bad. Like this isn't relative.
They break in and they get high on the nitrous in the
oh,
closet. Oh my
Everything.
god!
It's and oh my god, Kevin Spacey is just on his just
Yeah.
being himself,
Yes.
Jennifer Aniston goes into
dude. You're gonna put that
hyperdrive.
cock in me, Dale. You're gonna put that cock. I'm just like, oh my god, how did they get this woman to say these things?
Mhm.
Have you
He
seen
says,
the
"Fuck
Fuck
my
my
slutty
mouth."
little mouth."
Yeah, I'm like, you can't finish that movie
Yeah.
without heading to the bathroom.
That's when
for
you pause
information.
the movie.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
Dude.
well,
I think I actually had one of those experiences where I had to pause the movie and go head on in, like you used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you seen the second one?
Well, I had to do
Yeah.
that
No.
in Dawn
not
of
as
the
good,
Dead.
but yeah.
There's a scene in the second one where they do a phone drop, and Jason Sudeikis, they have to make a phone call, right? Because they kidnap Chris Pine. But they make
Sudeikis to me
We've
is
seen
Nick.
it.
and
Nick is Sudeikis to me, by the way. When I think of you, I think of oh geez, I gotta talk I don't know. For some reason, I think of you.
got a good head of
I don't
hair.
know. I don't.
So will
know.
you soon.
What he does is so good.
So soon, yeah. Man, I'm trying to remember. Amanda and I watched a movie. Oh, I think I have my number one pick, actually, of the most underrated comedy of all time. But very much like Travis, I can't remember the name of it right now.
Okay.
Who's in it?
Who thinks of that?
Oh, I know exactly what it is. And this is my final answer. It's Bowfinger. Bowfinger is unbelievably underrated. And we watched that. We watched it, and then we watched it again with my family. It was like during the holidays. We watched it probably 5 times in 2 weeks, and I was crying.
Bowfinger is mine.
Trying.
Bowfinger is one of Eddie Murphy's best movies he's ever made. Like straight up, that's a statement right there, because he does a lot of good stuff. Bowfinger is mejor.
I feel like I saw that as a kid and then never went back. Probably be a
Oh
good.
man, Steve Martin is in rare form.
Loves
Rare form.
I love him.
Chubby Rain.
I mean, dude, there's not that. It's tough to think of some underrated comedies. I mean, there's a lot, but
That's my final.
Well,
answer.
actually, you know what? Another one that we've mentioned on the podcast talking about Steve Martin, and it's not even like super loud, funny. It's just so
the
feel
big year.
The Big Year. Man, that's a good movie. So
It's
good.
just- dude.
It's
haven't
got
seen it.
such an important message too, and it's fucking brilliant filmmaking how they do it. I don't want to spoil it necessarily, maybe, but it's sort of about the priorities in life, and each character is an example of the sort of the priority in life that they chose.
I
And
think
then
Nick
the
would
end
love
ties
that.
together. It's so good.
I think Nick would at least appreciate it.
I mean,
It's-
I'm a big Mark. I think Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Oh, that's not an underrated movie. That's like canon. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is incredible. Like, I like Steve Martin straight up. I'm a big fan.
yeah,
So I'll watch it.
This is Steve
Oh,
Martin.
The Big Year.
Yeah, Big
Yeah,
Year.
Steve Martin.
Owen Wilson, Steve Martin, Jack Black.
Have you seen The Jerk, Nick?
Yeah. The Jerk is. I think The Jerk is like everybody says is like that's the big thing. I think it's good, but I don't think it's like his best. I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is way better.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of my favorite comedy
It's
movies.
just straight up one of the best comedies ever.
It's so good.
Never heard of it.
All right, I'm gonna go my
Wyatt
number
doesn't
one.
agree with that.
Never heard of it.
I don't know if this qualifies.
John
as
Candy
I
and
never heard of it. I can't
Steve
believe
Martin and John
lying.
Candy.
Lying.
Woo!
I'm gonna have to
Part of
watch
it.
that again. I've only seen it once and I didn't love it.
Candy.
Woo!
Rest in peace, John. He died way too young, man. Very sad.
I'll tell you what, I'd put my whole life on it, Travis. I guarantee all your favorite people. I don't know why I think this, but I feel Planes, Trains, and Automobiles would be something that Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller probably jerked each other off to when they were younger. Like that's the type of like.
That's sick to think
that's
about. That's
it.
really cool to think about them jerking off about that movie, dude.
And that's also the best part of Funny People is him making
Like that.
prank phone calls in the beginning.
Yeah.
Is-
Those were his
the
real
best.
phone calls, right?
Yeah.
I ate
It's
the
the
roast beef.
Yeah, I love that part.
Oh, that's the best.
Like those guys are famous and they live on cots in some abandoned wherever they are doing prank phone calls.
But weren't those like home videos before he was famous?
I feel for some reason I just assumed he was at SNL by then, but you could be right. I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I saw it. I haven't seen it since 2009 in theaters, but what I remembered is that I remembered him being pretty young. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was
Yeah.
like in high school in those videos.
That was in college.
Yeah.
Very well could be.
They're in their dorm rooms at college just doing prank calls. So
Yeah.
Oh, this is college? I didn't know that.
yeah, had it probably real
Bathroom.
even before then.
He's in
Where's the roast beef?
I love that the guy comes in, his friend comes in as the angry son. What are you calling him again? Hang up the fucking phone.
It's serious. Don't tell me not to call. Me and Chris Mack used to send that to each other. all the
Such a good Jewish woman. Oh my god.
I got one. Have you ever heard of Jungle to Jungle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that
Wow.
Is that the kid from
That
Tool
Tim
Man
Allen?
Taylor?
No, it's Tim Allen.
And it is. And
But
it
it's
is
the
Tool Man
son
Taylor.
too. It's
No.
JTT.
No.
isn't it?
No.
No, that's I'll Be Home for Christmas
Yeah,
or all
yeah.
there's something like that.
Yeah,
I know what you're
exactly,
talking about, but no.
No.
It's so weird you say that, Eric, because all we've been watching is Home Improvement and Last Man Standing the last 2 weeks. It's so strange. It's
That's
so
like-
strange
Well,
that you
it's not
said that.
strange because
Looking
Tim Allen is the best.
Let's clap it
Amanda's
up for Nick,
such a
guys.
big
He's running
fan.
a good
May I
household.
ask a question? Can I have a sub question here? Does anybody find the wife in Home Improvement attractive?
No.
No. I told Amanda that she looks like a chain smoking degenerate.
Jill?
And she said, no, she said she's prettier than Elaine Bennis. And I said,
Ah! Ah!
She's
I
like,
said
yeah,
you're-
I would say
Dogs
she's
are
pretty, but
weird.
there's never, I guarantee there's no episodes where I'm like, damn, she's hot.
yeah,
Who?
ever.
No.
I look at her and I think,
Jill?
that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, never, ever, ever. She
What
looks like
about
a pig.
Pamela Lee, though, is a Tool girl or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
I mean,
god.
a little bit.
I think that's part of the
Ollie?
problem.
What's her name?
I think Heidi is hot too,
Heidi.
by
Heidi.
the way.
Pamela
Yeah,
Lee's a-
Heidi's hotter than Pam Anderson, in my opinion.
Well, I got
I agree.
another one for you. You remember Stealing Harvard?
Yes.
Green.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very
Put
unfair.
Tom Green in a movie, and I'm into the movie.
Okay, here's a question. Stealing Harvard or Orange County?
That's
Oh,
probably
Orange
Orange
I'm
County.
a pretty
County.
big Orange County guy.
Jack
Yeah,
Black.
those are the same in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like those are very
Yeah.
close. That's
Yep.
splitting hairs there.
Jack
Yep.
Black
Yeah.
puts Orange County over
Stealing
the
Harvard was
Yeah, I
way
love
dumber,
Jack Black.
way more pointless.
top.
Yeah,
Orange
Jack
County.
Black.
Oh, I got
stupid as shit. It was a very stupid
I
movie.
mean,
but
I quote
I
one
think-
of my favorite lines from any movie ever. I think
Catherine
I've said
O'Hara
it
and
on
that
the
as well.
podcast a million times, but when you think of Shakespeare, who do you think of? And it's Claire Danes. That's right, Claire Danes, and that's the guy. That's the creator. That's Mike White. That's the
Right.
creator of White Lotus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
That
They're
is such a.
sneakily.
I mean, the way he
So criminal.
sells that line. That's right, Claire Danes.
That's right.
what wasn't that wasn't that who the dad and the mom were? It was like Catherine O'Hara and fucking what's his face?
It was Catherine O'Hara and John Lithgow.
Yeah, dude, it couldn't be better than that.
I also want to know something because you said Tom Green, and I think everybody here likes Freddy Got Fingered, but that would be a very, very low bar movie, kind of like a Biodome.
Yeah.
And Brian Cox is in Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, he's the dad.
It raises that question, like why is Al Pacino in Jack and Jill? Why is Susan Sarandon in That's My Boy?
Hey, Nick.
Why, like, what are these guys doing?
Why
that they're hanging out with Tom Green making rape jokes?
Why is Brad Pitt and Dave?
Oh, and I need to watch that.
And
I need to start watching that season.
It's because they watched it and were like, "This is fucking weird."
They like comedy. They want to be in a comedy.
Yeah, I want to be in this.
I think
Brian Cox and Freddy Got Fingered makes no sense.
He probably watched the Tom Green show.
He's the dad, right?
I think it makes it funnier if someone you've seen in movies, the serious person.
Oh, exactly. Of course it does. But to get them signed up, to get them to agree to come on over is like, wow.
Have you watched any old Tom Green episodes when he puts the people fucking eating each other out on his parents' car? It's the greatest thing ever.
I don't remember that. I probably saw it.
Why don't you drive the slutmobile to work, Dad? What's the problem, Dad? He goes and, Dad went to the bus stop. I'm gonna go pick him up in the slutmobile. Dad, what's the problem here, Dad? It's like it's like he's literally ruining his father's life. It's real.
Like Bam Margera before Bam Margera.
Margera stupid. He would just beat his dad up.
Well, I know, but fucking with your parents type of thing, like as a TV show.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like Tom Green's way better.
Oh, I agree.
Nothing better.
Tom Green is better than Jackass.
Yeah, Jackass. It's very hard. I really like. A part of me wants to watch it again, but I'm not just into seeing like people poop that much anymore, like that. So I'm just like, nah, it's not for me.
Same.
Same.
I'm shocked, Eric. I thought you were still into poop more so than I was, but I'm glad to hear it, dude. Yeah, you over it?
Over it.
Oh god.
Well,
fucking Tom. Yeah, they got all the old Tom Green clips on YouTube, bro. You'll get it. You get them all. It's fucking amazing. Super Canadian.
All right. Well,
I think that wraps it up here. We had a good conversation.
Still recording
about the comedies.
Arizona.
Raising Arizona. That's the movie.
Waiting for Guffman.
What you thought about waiting in the comments section.